this is Anil. We're back at it for another Spotlight Sunday. And today's property of the week is?
El Sol 1.
El Sol 1. It's one of our first properties we fixed, flipped, and sold in Altadena, right?
Right. We call El Sol 1 because we actually had another one on the same street that we picked up as well. But that was the first one we actually finished, flipped, and sold.
Yeah.
But we had just wholesaled another one to a friend of ours prior to that, and we were in escrow for another project in Altadena at the time too. So
wholesales are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how we got it?
We bought it from a wholesaler, I believe, right? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we did.
We bought it from a wholesaler. I know it was listed.
Yeah.
And, we bought it from a wholesaler, but I don't remember much about it.
It was we were one of the offers that submitted on it when it was listed. I think it was like 10, 12 offers. Wholesaler got it. They'd been kind of headhunting us, and they'd wanted to work with us for a while, so they happened to find a property, same one we're bidding on. They get it, and they sell it to us for $3,000 less than we offered on it. So it was kind of weird, but it worked out. Yeah.
That's how
it worked out.
They sold it for less than what we offered on the house.
I'm glad you remember about our business and stuff. That's awesome.
I mean, this was a few years back, but that's the winning formula. So sometimes when you lose, you win, and sometimes when you win, you lose.
I was very.
That's very white man can't jump, if you guys know. But anyways, so we bought that property for $595, right? And this thing was it was nice. It had great mountain views from the side.
Yeah.
It was right next to JPL, so it was at the northwest part of Altadena, and then it was at a cul-de-sac, which is really interesting too. So it had great characteristics, but the inside of the house was just crazy, right? It needed a whole gut, I believe.
Yeah, we gutted the entire thing. Did it look like a bomb had gone off? No,
not a bomb. Probably like kids ran around that through
like
a bunch of parties, and did their thing.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
It was in bad shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a complete gut, but we didn't have to rearrange too much. So it was literally one of our quicker fix and flips, right?
Yeah, I think we added a master ensuite into it and pretty much left the layout kind of what it was.
The total renovation budget was roughly $125K, but I do remember that about 75 to 85% of the way through, we had to fire a contractor.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah. He was a real piece of work, right?
Yeah, it was good work.
But the good thing about it is we met our partner today, Danny, and we met him at a few Cribs and Coffees back. Maybe, like...
At a couple of our meetups that we were doing at our office, he came to Cribs and Coffee at that property when we initially did it, and that's how we reached out to him.
And so, he ended up finishing up our first property working together on, and he brought it from that 85% to 100% complete, and I mean, it's dope. I mean, today we're partners with him now, so hey, keep coming to Cribs and Coffee or meetups that we have, and you'll be a partner too.
So shout out to the really horrible contractor, because that led to this, so it worked out perfectly. In fact,
Thank you for me.
I want to tell you, I actually never trusted the dude. As soon as he told us that he needed to fill up the trash beams and get them out, I didn't see any lasers anywhere, so I wasn't sure what he was talking about. And at that point, I was sold that that's what he said. He texted it to us, so I was like, we were done with. But go ahead.
The interesting thing about this property here is we had two Cribs and Coffees, right? One was about 50% of the way,
right?
And it was during the rain, but we still had roughly like 80 people come through, which is dope, right? And we had people go into the house and give their estimate of what they thought it would take to complete. That was a really good Cribs and Coffee. And I remember we had one at the very end, once we actually had the property finished and staged,
right?
And then we had people come through and we had them give their guesstimate of what they thought the property was worth. You remember that?
Yeah. Actually, I do remember that because we had a number in our mind, and everybody looked at us like we were crazy, and they gave us a completely different number, much lower than what we thought it was going to sell for, or what we figured it would.
There were realtors in that pocket, or other investors that came to our Cribs and Coffee that were telling us, no, it's not what it is. So the one thing we preach is just know your shit. Know the area that you're investing in, right? Know how to read comps. Don't trust anyone to tell you, hey man, your property is going to be worth this. Don't believe them. Do your own work. Do your own research and come up with your own numbers. I mean, if you start relying on other people to tell you what they think the value is, you're already losing. So, we have done a great job predicting our markets and values that we're always able to call out our number, But then it's always nice to hear what other realtors or other investors or other people in the neighborhood think it could sell for.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is, yeah, we listed it for $897-ish.
Yep.
We ended up getting all cash offer for $960.
Yeah.
So we could have went a little higher, but we said let's go with all cash offer, close quickly, right?
Yeah, I think we had a couple offers, a couple higher offers at finance, but the 960 all cash, quick close, it looked good. In fact, I remember at the Cribs and Coffee when we were going over our numbers, we were so confident in our numbers that we told the guests there that who our buyer would be. We kind of told them, what the down payment would be, where they'd be coming from. We kind of had a whole idea as to what that buyer would look like and be. And I would say we were like 90% spot on.
Nailed it.
Yeah. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. And then the dope thing too is when we were in escrow, because we knew what the end value was, we were able to buy or get a property into escrow right down the street, also too, which we'll talk about later. But we knew the end value now, and we knew all we had to do was work our numbers backwards, and we figured out our buy price, and that was a home run too.
Yeah, it all worked out great in that sense. I think we picked up a realtor brought us another one right around the corner from that property. Yeah, 2 blocks away from that one. We picked that one up on El Sol. I think we were heavy in Altadena at the time, and probably another 2 or 3 that we were in escrow on. So we were moving pretty fast in Altadena at that point.
Yeah, and El Sol was a great little bungalow home. We added board and batten to it. We'll share the pictures with you guys. But when it was all said and done, we bought it for $595. We put in $125 into it. We fired a contractor, got a business partner who wrapped it up, got a couple more deals into escrow during that process, right? And then we ended up selling it for $960K, not including all the fees and all the other stuff. You guys can figure all that out. But it was a win. I mean, it's a solid project. Yeah. And we turned that neighborhood into $1 million area. 960, let's round up, Yeah. When something's good, you always round up. When it's bad, you round down. So 960, we call it $1 million, right? We turned that neighborhood into $1 million neighborhood. And one thing I remember is that there were a lot of older neighbors who had kids our age who were ready to inherit the house, and they came up to us and said, hey, you know what? I love what you guys did. You gave my family value. We can send kids to college now with equity. We can sell our home. My mom could retire. My father could retire. So it was dope.
Yeah, it was a couple of really awesome neighbor stories that worked out around that time. And then I remember we started doing work on 2 or 3 neighbors' homes for them because they saw what was going on and how we were working. So yeah, it worked out great.
So remember, when you're looking at a house, just don't look at that house and be in and out quick. I mean, there's so much more that you could do for the neighborhood, so much more business that you could get. Do your fucking homework, and you can reap the rewards.
This was supposed to be PG-13.
It's okay. It's an end. Who stays to the credits? So, El Sol 1, great property.
I feel like they all stayed at the end. They're still watching.